Hi guys, welcome to episode 9 of the Spoken Podcast. I am here today with Leo from Faded Barbershop and also Plus Products. Do you like that?
I like that.
Do you like how I added that on? I know. So Leo has joined us today. He's a very, very busy man. So I'm very happy that you're here. And he also brought beers.
Had to.
Podcast sponsored by Pure Blonde. And we're watching our calories and carbs, which is superb. So yeah, thank you very much for coming on, man.
Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm really grateful and appreciative to be here and to be on your platform and to be able to talk about the academy and barbering, my story. Yeah, I'm grateful to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
It's so cool. It's like this one is one which we've spoken about probably before we even started the podcast that we're getting you on. So it's cool. All right, let's start off. Most important thing.
Yeah.
Top 5 songs.
Well,
I'm also going to do mine as well, right? Just so you know. So
damn, you wrote them in your diary and everything?
I wrote them down because I'm like, man, my memory's terrible.
I didn't choose the songs that I chose. I didn't want to go ahead with like Snoop Dogg and like your classic, like, because they're a given. So I just kind of wanted to go with what I've been listening to recently, right now.
I love it.
And so lately I've been listening to, and the boys at the barbershop will know this because I have it on repeat all day. Ocean Alley, Touch Back Down.
Nice.
Which is one of the newer releases. I've been loving that.
That's it.
What about your first one?
So I've gone completely opposite of what you have, right?
All right.
So what I normally do is like what I've listened to for the week, right?
Okay.
And obviously what happened yesterday, I watched Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
So halftime show, it's like I started doing it and then I'm like, oh no, actually I should change this. So I went like, my first one's Tupac, Do For Love.
Oh yeah.
I was like, classic.
Yeah. Very nice. The next one I had was a Spanish one that I was listening to in the car, and I always find myself going to listen to it. It's called Escápate Conmigo by Ozuna. And
my pants just flew off as you said that.
It's very, I don't know, if you get a chance to YouTube it, Escápate Conmigo by Ozuna. 100%. Nice song.
You can send me that.
Yeah, I'll send you that.
I love that.
You'll love it, bro. You will love it.
I will love that. All right, my second. I've gone Tupac again. I've gone California Love after there. Like, damn. I know they smashed that yesterday, so I'm like, I've got to put that in.
I've been loving Sticky Fingers lately.
Yep.
Again, the boys at the barbershop will know I've been rinsing it.
Yeah,
Sticky Fingers, especially Cool and Calm. That's probably just one that I can just play and just cruise along to anywhere, any place that I'm at. I can put that song on, and
that's cool.
It sets the tone for the place. Yeah, I like that.
That's cool. All right, I've gone like my next 3 are like extremely cheesy, right? Yeah. Valentine's Day yesterday, obviously. So I'm gonna do a little bit of cheese. So I've gone Al Green, Let's Stay Together.
Oh, great song, man.
I was like, I know it is a great song and also romantic.
Yeah.
Because I am very romantic, obviously.
What are the other two?
I've gone Temptations, My Girl.
Yeah, nice.
And also, then I've just changed it up, Fleetwood Mac, Everywhere.
Oh, yeah, nice, bro. I like the way you finished that.
Yeah,
very big contrast from, one to the other, bro.
I know, how's Tupac to Fleetwood Mac? It's like, that sums me up.
Well, I had Brand New by Blast. I had Jam by Wizkid.
Yeah.
I like the Afro beats, Wizkid.
Sick.
And what was the other one that I had? I don't remember the other one. It's hard for me to choose favorite songs. Man, it's like asking me what my favorite movie is.
100%. It's the hardest thing in the world. That's why I say to people, I'm like, it can be just your 5 songs on the day, because people are like, my top 5 favorite songs is like, everyone who we've had on here is like, I couldn't pick my top 5. Yeah. Like, it's impossible to pick my top 5.
It's impossible. I get asked it all the time, like at the barbershop, because we have like the TVs or music videos playing all day long, and I get asked all the time, and I go, man, like that's like asking me my favorite movie, bro. Like, I have no idea. There's so many movies, so many genres out there, and there's always like a certain time that's fitting for a song.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's certain songs where you just kind of look at the crowd and like, this song's not going to work right now. Like, I love this song, but this song isn't going to work for this vibe right now.
Do you find that hard in the shop? Like, is there stuff which you're like, I love this song, but then the boys are like,
right. Like, there's so many times that I'll get like a 40 or 50 year old Aussie tradie come in, and I'm like, I'm putting on some Bruce Springsteen right now before this guy. At least the windows are tinted and I can see him coming from a mile away.
Yep.
And I'm putting on like my 80s playlist. you know, so he feels like he's come from the car listening to CFM,
and he's like,
straight to the transition's easy.
I like that.
I try not to. I don't do that often, but our shop playlist is very. Man, you from 1 second you will go from like Wham! Last Christmas to then you will be going to listening to Tiger Taste.
Yeah, that's
and then
so
you'll go
good.
into listening to Sticky Fingers. So you ask anyone, man, and at the shop we have a variety of genres of music because, man, they say that art decorates. They say that art decorates space and music decorates time. You know,
100%.
and I think having a good variety of music is important in any, not just barbershop, but any place.
Absolutely.
Like, just being diverse with your music, man.
Absolutely.
And you grow, your music changes as you get older.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I've like. I mean, my music selection is completely random. Like my tattoos, I got like Frank Sinatra, then I got like Tupac and Nirvana, and it's like people are like, what?
That's mad.
But yeah, it's just completely random. But I mean, that's why we kind of wanted to put this into the podcast, because it's really interesting, because I would have never had you down as an Ocean Alley fan, right?
Man.
I just wouldn't have, because I was like, I don't think you would have listened to Ocean Alley. I love Ocean Alley, right? So yeah, that's unreal. That's really cool. All right, let's get into nitty gritty stuff then, right? Right, so let's go back. Leaving school.
Yeah.
So what was the career kind of pathway which you were thinking when you were leaving school? What was your thing? Was it always barbering, or was it like...
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. All of my friends were like going to uni or getting a trade, and they seemed like they knew what they wanted to do immediately. And I just felt this immense pressure from like my parents and my peers and society that when you leave school, you have to go to uni and you have to get a degree and get a job and then get a relationship and get married. And man, as somebody who's super creative and super out of the box, I'm like, I don't want to do that shit, man.
That's not me.
Like, I want to like live, and I just finished like 12 years of school. I don't want to go back into 100%. Schooling. So 100%. My original plan was to have like a gap year, and then decide what I want to do, if I want to study or work. And in that gap year, like I just worked. I got a job at KFC, the first job ever.
How good?
And then I only actually I got the job like before I finished school at KFC. But then when I actually finished school, I got a job at Culture Kings.
Nice.
And this was before Culture Kings is like what it is now. It was like kind of up and coming. It was in I was in Brisbane actually. I got the job, but they moved me to Southport because I just moved to the Gold Coast. I moved from Brisbane to the Gold Coast in 2010. And I moved to Southport, and man, I was just going through the motions. And in the time I was at Culture Kings, I was studying, and I was studying digital media, and that was like graphic design. And halfway throughout that, I don't know. I guess I was just distracted with going out clubbing and hanging out with my friends and drinking and like smoking weed, and I don't know. I got distracted. If you would have put me in a graphic design class now as a 28-year-old with kids, and like I could see the value in it
100%, and
I would be like, this is great. I love this. But as a 18-year-old, I was like, man, I feel like I'm back at school. 100%. So I dropped out, continued working at Culture Kings. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, man. I was just enjoying working there. Working there as an 18-year-old. Yeah, I was going to say. A shop like that just started. 100%. It was the coolest job in the world. Yep. And I felt like the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah, that's sick.
I always got the freshest clothes. And one of the DJs who worked at Culture Kings, his name was DJ O. His real name's Marley. Shout out to Marley. He goes by the name DJ O. I always listened to DJ O's mixtapes, and I always admired DJ O. Yeah, you know, and to work at Culture Kings and to have him working there,
yeah, that's sick.
I would come to work nervous and be like, "Oh man!" and then I remember I would put songs on USBs and I would give them to Marley, DJ O, and I would say, "Man, can you play this in the shop? Cool. Can you play this?" And he said to me one day, "Man, you got a good ear. Like you you got good music.
Yep.
You should be a DJ.
Yeah.
And for him saying that to me,
Yeah.
I'm going to be a DJ.
Yeah.
I'm going to be fucking
I'm buying
DJ.
decks.
I'm a DJ. I'm the next DJ. And I said, man, would you teach me? And he was like, yeah, man. And I would go to the clubs with him. I would go to like Sin City and like Shooters and no, actually it wasn't Shooters. It was just Sin City, and I would just watch him like a hawk, and I would just watch him DJ. And he would give me like a drink card because the DJs get this little card to drink, free drinks. And when he would give me the card, I would see it as a test. I would see it as like, this guy is trying to see if I'm just here to get free drinks off him, or be there to be cool, because being a DJ is cool. But I was literally there just to learn. I just wanted to watch him do his thing. And yeah, I would never accept his card. I'm like, no, I'm all good. I'm on the waters tonight. Yeah. And it kind of got to this point where he was like, all right, man, like I've kind of shown you enough. Now you need to buy your own decks. Yep. So we can move on. And I didn't have any money, you know. And at the time, as I said, I was working at Culture Kings. One of the barbers there, he said, man, because I'm very creative, I used to carry around this book with me, and on my lunch breaks I would sketch. Yes. And he said, man, can I look at your book? Sorry, excuse me.
That's pure blonde. That's pure blonde.
And he goes, sorry. He goes, bro, what do you carry that book around for? And I said, oh, I do drawings and shit. And he looked at, he's like, can I have a look? And I said, yeah. And he goes, man, you're a really good drawer. Like, you should be a barber. Yeah. And I laughed in his face. And I remember clear as day, being a young 18-year-old, you know, I know we're politically correct here. Yeah. And I laughed at him and I said, nah, that's gay. Yeah. You know, and he was like, what? That's not gay. Like, it's a good job. And I was like 18 years old, I dropped out of TAFE. I was like, yeah, all right, I'll do it. And in my head, I said, I'm going to be a barber. No, I said, I'm going to learn this, and I'm going to make enough money to buy my decks.
Yeah, I love that.
And I'm going to go back into DJing, but I'll just do this for a bit of money. Yep. So the next year, he opened up a shop called Legend Cuts on Mermaid Waters. This was like 2011, 2012. And I started learning from him, and I loved it. I ended up just loving it, man. And from then, yeah, the rest is history. I just stuck to it, and I did try other things. You know, I did try studying sound production, which wasn't for me, and I tried going into real estate, and that wasn't for me. And I just kind of stuck it out with barbering, and it wasn't until I had my kids that I realized they kind of gave me that drive where I had to decide, okay, am I going to be a barber for the rest of my life? Well, not the rest of my life, but I need to do something to provide for my family 100%. Now. Am I going to stop barbering and go back to sound production or graphic design or real estate, which I didn't really want to? Yeah. Or am I going to stick to barbering and try open a shop? Because at that time I had so much experience working in other people's small businesses, watching how they operate their small businesses. I've collected enough data and knowledge that I'm ready to open up my business. You know?
That's awesome.
So sorry, I went a bit off topic on how I got into barbering. But that's kind of where I was at after school. Yeah. You know, and I could try to summarize it.
Well, it's obviously, it's funny, right? Because we met through the Barber Academy, but we actually met before that because I used to get tattooed by Dan Razor.
Yeah. Shout out to Vanguard.
I know.
Shout out to Dan Razor.
Dan should be sponsoring this.
I know.
Dan used to be in a band with Pete, who edits this podcast.
No way.
Yeah. So I know.
I met Pete.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. I'm like, Pete's probably going to be like, I know Leo. He's like, so So Dan was tattooing me at the time. Was an apprentice and was basically like, if you just let me do whatever, you can do it cheap. And I was like, wow, 100%. So I still remember the day, right? Because it was when I got my back done. And I think I've told everyone this story, but I wanted to have a big family tree on my back for some reason. And I was like, I want to have all my names of my family and stuff like that. Thinking back, I'm like, thank goodness I didn't do that. And Dan was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. So I've come in the day and he's like, I've been thinking, man, I'm really good at doing skulls, huh? And I'm like, I went, Dan, I'm not a skull guy, huh? I'm like, I don't even like skulls. And he was like, oh, I've done this sick one though, and he's pulled out this thing, and I was like, oh, that does look sick. Got a skull on my back. And like, so everyone always asks me, they're like, why the skull? And I'm like, well, funny story. So yeah, it has nothing to do with my family or anything, but. And I do need to get it finished by Dan as well. He's still gonna. I'm like, oh man, I'm so glad.
Dan, come on, open up a slot, surely.
I know, 100%. He's too busy, man. He's too busy. But
that's sick. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I would have ran into you like in passing 100% when I was at Black Market.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I would have been in there getting tattooed while you were getting absolutely smashed doing haircuts.
Yeah.
Because I remember saying to Dan, I was like, because we just kind of started the hairdressing school and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, is Leo busy? And he's like, he gets pumped, man. I'm like, he's like, we need to put more barbers on. He's like, he's always busy. So yeah, it was like, anyway, I'm going off topic now. But yeah, it was brilliant. So I know you mentioned there starting to open up a barbershop and stuff like that. So you may not classify yourself as an entrepreneur. I know I sent you that text earlier and I was like, he didn't say anything back to that, but you are, right? So obviously we'll talk about your product for a start, because I want to know the background behind that, like why you started it, kind of what was in your head to go, I'm going to do that, because it is such a huge thing to do. Like, and a lot of people would say, don't do it. It costs so much money up front to do it and stuff like that. So what was kind of the trigger to go, you know what, I am going to do this. I am going to do this. So
I think I don't know what triggered me to just do it. I think it was just like a combination of things in my life that made me just realize, like, fuck it. Yeah. Like, just, you know, like, I don't know why. And I got to admit, one of like my biggest inspirations, which I didn't realize at the time, was the boys from King Brown, which is Dane and Dean.
Exactly.
Shout out to King Brown.
Dane was on here last week.
Was he?
Yeah.
That's sick.
We haven't released that yet, but Dane was on here last week.
Well, just seeing these boys, like when I spoke to Dane, and just seeing these boys, local guys from Burleigh, just doing it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and they're not even from a background of barbering.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I mean that in respectful, like, just to see them and go, man, these guys are doing it. That's sick. That's inspiring to me.
100%.
And, you know, then I just put it in the back burner of my head, and I thought that's mad. I opened up my shop, and I guess after opening up my shop and dealing with certain staff, then I realized, like, you know what? Like, throughout my time as a barber, I've used Layrite, I've used Muck, I've used Uppercut, King Brown, countless other brands. And I've always loved it, but I've always like wanted something specific. I wanted something that's like can be used as a all-in-one
one-stop shop. Yep.
And that's when I started reaching out to different factories overseas into what they can provide.
Yep.
And I literally sent them like 10 products.
Yep.
And I said, I want this from this product. I want this from this. I want this. I want you to give me all the pros and get rid of all the cons.
Love that.
That's but to me, like, the cons might have been, you know, what you might consider, I don't know, if you wanted an oily product, I didn't want an oily product.
Yeah.
You know, if you wanted something that lasts, something that's lasts when you go for a surf and you come back out, it's still in your hair. I wanted something that's easy to wash out, you know.
100%.
All these different like qualities I wanted specifically. And I just went for it. I reached out to this factory overseas who could provide me what I wanted.
Yep.
And they pretty much said, it went on for like about a year.
I was going to say, how long was the process?
It went on for about a year, bro. Back and forth.
Yep.
Just like, this is too, like, they would send me samples and I would send it back. I would give them feedback and go, this is too this is too that. I need more this. And if you would have told me that it would have taken a year of going back and forth, I would have been like, nah, don't worry about it. Don't worry. I'll just stock this. I'll just stock that.
Exactly.
But at the 3-month mark and then the 6-month mark, I was like, I'm way too invested in this.
Yep.
To turn back now.
Exactly.
And then it got to the year mark and the product was actually becoming something that I was like, I'm happy with this.
Yeah.
This is actually getting cool. And, yeah, obviously I just made like a batch. I negotiated it because they said, oh, okay, now you got to buy 10,000 off us. And I said, whoa, hang on, like,
nope.
can I just get like 500 or 1,000 off yous? And they were like, oh, they were very reluctant. They were like, okay, fine. And we worked that out. And luckily, because of the barbers that I know who own barbershops and stuff, it wasn't the most appealing looking product. You know, it was, for those who can remember, it was like a small black tub with a sticker slapped on it. And I knew in my head I wanted it looking the way that it looks now.
Exactly,
but at the time, I'd run out of the money. And I'm like, oh, fuck it. I'll just provide it to the people. And yeah, man, it was so far, it's been a hit. Like, so far, I've had a lot of positive feedback. And the fact that it's such a versatile product.
Exactly. That's what I know. I gave you that feedback from the start. It's like, and I said the same thing to Dane. I was like, it's good that there's brands out there who haven't got 40,000 different products going like, oh yeah, well, you have to buy the full range. Yeah. And I'm like, well, sadly, we're not in a position to buy the full range. And a lot of shops aren't, man. So it's great that that's happening. I said exactly the same thing to Dane. I was like, it's awesome because, it's very much, that's Dane's philosophy as well. You know what I mean? He's like, nah, I don't want it to be 40,000 products. It's like, well, that's for that. Sweet. Happy days. Yeah, so, sure. And it's a very, very interesting one. That's awesome. That's cool. All right, here's a bit of a twist. A lot of our students always ask, they're like, oh, I want to open up a shop. What advice would you give them if they wanted to step into that world? Obviously, bearing in mind, you could go off on a tangent here. Like we were just talking about, I always try and give the feedback of, look, work in shops. Work in experienced shops. Work with experienced people like yourself, like what Kev did. And really be like, okay, that's the level. Because that's what I think it is. It's like, we can teach them everything here. But again, that's only 12 months worth of barbering. And it's like, obviously, you've had many years of barbering. You know what I mean? And it's like, so what would be kind of your recommendation, I suppose?
Well, I guess it's kind of along the lines of what you're saying. Like, I think the best thing I could have done is, well, I'm lucky that most barbershops are small business owned on the Gold Coast. Unless you're talking like Jimmy Rod's, Just Cuts, Tommy Guns. Most shops are owned by the owner. That's a barber and he's working in the shop.
Exactly.
You know, so I was lucky enough that every shop that I've worked at, you know, like Legend Cuts, God Barber, All Stars and Tugan, like the countless shops like Black Market. I've worked alongside the owners. And just being observant and being like asking them questions and just soaking in all that knowledge and why do you do that and why do you do this and I guess I kind of consider myself lucky that I've worked alongside all these other people, and not only that, but also my mum and dad have owned their own businesses. Asking them questions,
which definitely helps.
Asking them questions, you know. I think that's been the biggest thing for me. But then again, in saying that, when I opened my business, that's been massive growth for me.
100%.
Because I'm a different person to who I was 4 years ago.
100%, man.
Dealing with staff, like dealing with like little dramas or trivial things, dealing with tax things, accounting things, loopholes and what I have to do, you know, counsel, just dealing with those things. I think just doing it and then dealing with these obstacles, I think 100%. That's the best thing.
If you could go back, would you do it all again?
What, barbering?
Everything. So
I don't know, man.
Would you go into barbering again? And then from your barbering, would you go into opening up a shop again?
Yeah, man. I think I would. I don't know. That's a hard one.
I know.
That's like the can you go back questions.
100%, man.
It's so hard because like, I don't just look at the negative. Like, it's such a hard question.
100%, man.
It is such a hard question because I don't just look at the bad things. or even if they are super bad, super traumatic, and I'm not just talking about barbering, but like in my life, like like relationship wise, if I was to go back, would I change anything? And I feel like I've learned what I've needed to learn from that.
Yeah, that's
and,
sick.
And I never really look back wishing what I can change. I always look back what I can learn.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Not what I want to change, because there's always something to learn, man. There's always something, and it's not just barber related. Like, I feel like you have to, if you want to grow and if you want to mature. I want to be a better dad.
Absolutely.
I want to be a better partner.
Yep.
I want to be a better boss, and I want to be a better friend to my friends, you know, like, so I'm constantly like, I'm constantly pulling apart my past experiences.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I guess I'm overthinking sometimes, but I'm always find myself just chilling there going, then what could I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that I said that was probably a bit inconsiderate. I should have pulled him aside or pulled her aside and said that in private. You know, I'm always thinking about what I could have learned and what I could have done better. You know,
but it's always good that you can reflect like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Some
If you were like,
man.
nope, I was right.
Don't.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, and I used to be like that, man. Like I say all the time to mum, I'm like, shit, looking back, like, I don't know, 6 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like, I would have been, it didn't matter what anyone said, I was right.
Yeah.
You were wrong. That's it.
Yeah.
Although my partner's probably watching this and she's like, you're still like that, you dickhead. But I'm trying to change, honestly.
Yeah.
But I know it's a very interesting one. We should cover education, obviously, as you are an educator through the Barber Academy. So has that always been something since you entered barbering which you were like, that would be really cool to do? Or was it something which, when you opened up the shop, it was like you were working with people and thought, you know what, I am educating these people in the shop, so why can't I kind of broaden that up? Or
yeah, I mean, it was a combination of both things.
Yeah.
It was a combination of me being an apprentice, and the guy who taught me, he was from Iraq, and English was his second language. So I was very much thrown into the deep end.
Yep.
And said, you know, you just do the cut. But why do I pick up the comb and go with the clippers?
Yep.
Why do I do that? You just do it because it blends, you know? Like
I
was
love that.
And I hated that. I couldn't ask for help.
Yeah.
Because it was in a time where barbering was just taking off.
Yep.
There was only like 4 or 5 shops on the main Gold Coast Highway where you could go for a cut. Ours being one of them. So whenever I said, "Oh man, is this good?" He's like, "Yes, it's good." You know, like it was like that. Yeah, it's okay. $40. That was like the. So I really had to, like, in a sense, learn on my own.
Yeah.
Like as much as I give credit to who taught me and the boys in the shop who taught me as well, because I would always ask them, "Why do you do that? Why do you do that?" You know, and they would go, "Oh, you do this because of this," and I would try and incorporate it, and then. So it wasn't only that, but there as well, before coming to the Barber Academy and teaching students, I was just teaching people who would ask me, man, can you teach me to be a barber?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
you know,
sweet.
all right, I'll teach you. And that was a huge challenge.
Yeah.
And it kind of got to a point where I was like, I kind of enjoy this. This is cool because I love cutting hair. It's so creative. And I realized that I don't just love cutting hair. I love like meeting people and connecting with people.
Yeah, that's sick.
And I might not connect with everyone. I realize that I might not connect with everyone. People probably, I don't really care what people might think of me, but they might think that I'm like too loud, too obnoxious, trying to whatever. I don't know, but I like connecting with people, and when I find something that me and someone connect with, it's like, oh, cool, man.
We're on.
Like,
no.
I have fun and I laugh and we laugh. And,
exactly.
And I find that I love that so much. Teaching somebody, I just found it enjoyable. So when you approached me to, you know, teach a class back when you were like in
our Little Mermaid shop.
Yeah, like, and just to be a part of that, to now where you are at here, which is super impressive and super awesome to see you grow. I feel honored to be a part of that.
Well, it's cool, man. It's cool seeing, like I say this to Arthur all the time. I'm like, when we asked you, I was kind of like, I said to Arthur, I was like, oh, I feel like a bit of a dick asking him because I know he's going to go like,
what?
Yeah, why would I? Like, kind of thing. Because literally...
What did you think of me, Brian?
Well, we... Honestly, and again, I said this in one of our earlier podcasts.
Yeah.
Like, when you look at somebody's brand, which is bad, you look on Instagram and you just think like... I refer this back to when I was single, Lani, just in case you say anything. But you'd see like a 10 in a nightclub and you're like, I won't even bother.
Yeah.
No, you would, obviously, because you're a 10.
Come on, mate. Yeah.
The best smelling man in the world ever.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
I know, I had to put that in. I told you, huh? So, yeah, it's like, that's what I kind of, which is bad. And I have changed that loads now because I've realized people actually like, when we reached out to you, you were like, straight away, yeah, man, I'd love to do that. Come in. Arthur went in for a haircut. We did the interview and stuff like that. And I was like, how cool is that? And I was like, that really kind of set the tone for the Barber Academy in general, to be honest, because it was like, we were pretty fresh.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, oh, who should we target? And Arthur and myself had been speaking for ages about messaging you because we were like, that's sick. It felt like you completely fit in with our culture. We want it to be fun. We don't want it to be like, come into a classroom, oh yeah, come on guys, this is what we do, this is what we do. It's like, we want it to be fun, and we have got a fun team here, so it's like, that was sick.
Yeah, but I love the team here, man. Like, I kind of feel, because the way that I was taught barbering was very like gray area.
Yeah.
And when I was a barber, I wish there was something like this.
Yeah.
You know, because when I was a barber, there was the only thing you could do is to go to like the school of hairdressing, do a 4-year apprenticeship. But I don't want to learn layering. I don't want to learn this. I don't want to learn that. I just want the 1 month module on barbering.
Exactly.
You know, so there was nothing around like this. So I guess I just kind of learned very much. Which is
crazy. How crazy is that?
So sometimes I feel like, sometimes I kind of feel like a bit inadequate coming to teach these guys because I know you have all your other teachers in your class teaching proper technique of like, mentoring and feathering, which I've learned now, but I sometimes I catch myself thinking, damn, I don't know, I hope I'm connecting with these students.
But that's a good thing as well, because you know what it's like, man. There's some people out there who their egos are off the Richter scale, like kind of like they would go, who are these peasants listening to me? Like, you will never be on my level, which is so frustrating because I'm like, these students are just like, I just want to watch. Like, and they're the same with you, man. Like, the amount of people that go, when's Leo doing tracks? When's Leo coming in to do fades?
Really?
Like,
Oh, man.
I'm blowing up your head now, and I'm blowing smoke up your ass. So it's like, it is, and it's really cool that you are so humble about it, but also the fact, which you were saying, like, you constantly are learning.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about an educator is they constantly want to learn. When they go, I know everything.
Yeah.
We don't want them here, kind of thing. Like, because the students pick up on it and they kind of go like, well, okay, well, if he's learned everything, then like, what more can I do, kind of thing. So it's I mean, it's a really interesting one. I always, it's really good listening to people say like, no, I'm constantly learning. Like, that's why I got into education, because I wanted to learn what I was actually teaching. So it's kind of like, it's a funny one. Anyway,
I love that, man.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. All right, last one, because I know you're a busy man, and I was like, this is supposed to be 30 minutes long. I'm like, shit, I've gone over again. I know, Pete, you'll have to edit it, so it trim me down to 30 minutes. So goals for Leo, faded plus, products as well. Let's just say the next 12 months, but you can go 5-10 years, whatever you want to do, right? Let's hear it. Let's hear whatever kind of goals you've got. Well, I know that's a big question, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to introduce more products. I'd like to introduce more products, and if that gives me enough to step away from barbering a little bit, I'd like to do that. And I'm actually going to go back into studying for SMP.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I want to. I feel like that's the next logical step.
I agree.
Me. You know, there's so many guys I meet who are thinning or they want a solution, and I'm always there to be like, oh man, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Where now I could be like, man, I can do this for you.
Yeah, I can do it.
I've started introducing teeth whitening into
love
the
it.
barbershop, which I haven't really announced yet. This is like my first time
Ta-da!
announcing it.
There you go. I know, I love that.
But yeah, I guess my goals with barbering is, just keep teaching, keep doing classes, just evolve and move forwards. You know, as much as I love barbering, there's more that I want to accomplish personally.
Yeah, that's cool.
As a dad, as a partner, you know, I want to buy a house. And I think these two things go hand in hand, you know, like with what I want to achieve with my professional life and my personal life. I think, I've got big plans, but we'll take it as it comes. You know, I don't like to plan too much.
100%.
You know, I like to kind of have a rough plan.
Yeah, and then go, look, if it goes that way, superb. Yeah,
because life's crazy, man. You know, life has many twists and turns. And I don't know, that's just the person I am. That's just who I am personally. I don't like to plan too much. I feel like my older sister, she's very structured, very planned, very organized. And my middle sister, she's somewhat a balance of structured and organized, but living her life and adventurous. And I feel like me, I'm just like the youngest in the family. I'm just like,
woo!
I'll just surf the wave of life, bro. Like, I'll just see what happens, you know? And you know, I've loved my life so far. There's been ups and downs. Man. There's been ups and downs, and I learn from them, and I just keep moving forward, you know. And I love my kids. I love my family. I love where I'm at in life. And I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here with you.
We're grateful to have you, man. We're grateful to have you.
I'm keen on doing some more classes.
Absolutely.
Just take it as it comes, man. I'll just take it as it comes.
Superb. Superb. That's the best way to finish a podcast. It's so positive, man. That's what I love about you. It's like I am not so positive, right? I try my best, but it's like, it's great having people like yourself on. Arthur, I think, is exactly the same. That's why you two vibe so much, because it's just like,
I love Arthur.
You guys are just like, it doesn't matter what happens. You know what? Yeah, shit happens. Yeah. We're going to be positive. I love that. So, it's awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on. You are absolutely killing it. I'm so happy, man. It couldn't happen to a better person, honestly, and a better smelling man. I should probably explain why I say you're a better smelling man. We had a Christmas party 2 years ago, and Leo came on. We were on the yacht club, and I was like, somebody smells absolutely amazing. Now, if anybody knows me, they know full well about I love smells. Yeah. Oh, ridiculous. I'm like, what's that? Or like a candle or something like that. I'm like, the place just has to be smelling amazing, right?
Oh,
so I'm like, somebody in here smells absolutely amazing. And there would have been a couple of hundred people on the boat, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, it smells sensational. Now we've got this tatted up guy, like with hardly any buttons done, on a white shirt.
I think they became undone as the night went
on.
No,
they were definitely undone. Drinking bottles of red.
Oh man, my teeth were so red. It was gross.
But the smell on the man was incredible. It was. I didn't even know what you were wearing, but I was like,
you know what?
Ridiculous.
I just literally bought a $400 Louis Vuitton perfume.
That's right. I remember you telling me now, and you put it in a little thing.
And I went on eBay, and I was like, you know what? I'm sick of wearing perfumes that I spray on one night.
Yep.
And then like by the middle of the night, like no one can smell them.
Yep.
So I went on eBay and I bought like a $5.
Yep.
like a travel pack. And I remember that I was like, oh sweet, I have a chance to use this.
Yeah, superb.
And nothing made me happier than you going, who smells good? Who smells good? Who is that? You?
Yeah.
That like made my whole night. That made my whole year, man.
Man, I was literally like, this is amazing.
It worked. You know.
Well, there you go. Well,
there's a story for you.
That's where we should finish off on, isn't it? Thank you so much, man. You've been amazing. Thank you. Thank you guys for listening. And I reckon we need to do a part 2.
Yeah. Maybe for the barbershop banter.
100%. 100%.
Easy.
All right. Thank you guys.
Thank you
Enjoy.
Guys.